Call to order the regular monthly meeting of the Avery County Board of Commissioners, December 1st, 2025. Woody, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for the day, for the blessings of it. Dear Heavenly Father, we know and realize that all things come from your bountiful hand. Lord, I ask you to be with us here this evening. Help everything that's said and done be in accordance to your will. Lord, and bring honor to your name. We thank you, Lord, for where we live, dear Heavenly Father, and for the blessings. We ask you, Lord, to be with us, lead us, guide us, and direct us. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Let's all stand and say the pledge, please. Would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to go to 3.1A, organizational meeting, and a little housekeeping to this, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Barry.
Okay, Board, at this time I'd like to open the floor for nominations for the position of Chair of the Avery County Board of Commissioners.
I make a motion to nominate Tim Phillips for chair of the board.
I would second that nomination.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to appoint Tim Phillips, Chair of the Avery County Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, sir.
And thank you, sir.
We'll move to the election of the vice chairman. Open the floor for nominations for vice chair of the Avery County Board of Commissioners.
Nominate Jim Salvage.
Second.
Any other nominations? If not, nominations will cease, and I'll need a motion to appoint Dennis Aldridge, vice chair of the Avery County Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll move on to appointment of officers, and we'll open the floor for nominations for county manager.
Nominate Philip Barrett, Jr.
Second.
Any other nominations? If not, nominations will cease, and I need a motion to appoint Philip Barrier Jr., county manager of Avery County.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Board. It is an honor.
Thank you. We'll move to county attorney. I'll open the floor for nominations for county attorney.
Could we appoint Michelle Ford?
Second.
Any other nominations? If not, nominations will cease, and I need a motion to approve Ms. Michelle Ford as county attorney.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Board.
Move to finance officer and open the floor for nominations for finance officer of Avery County.
Nominate Mr. Caleb Hogan.
Second.
Any other nominations? If not, nominations will cease, and I need a motion to appoint Mr. Caleb Hogan as county finance officer.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll move to clerk and assistant county manager. I open the floor for clerk and assistant county manager.
Nominate Cindy Tucker.
Any other nominations? If not, nominations will cease, and I need a motion to appoint Cindy Turberville as clerk and assistant county manager.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Big time.
Okay, we'll move to 3.2A, proclamations and awards. We have a resolution for the Avery County High School women's golf team and the Avery County High School turf grass science team. Mr. Barrett.
Yes, so Board, for your consideration and adoption tonight, Whereas the Avery County Board of Commissioners takes pride in recognizing the accomplishments of all athletic teams in Avery County, and whereas the Avery County High School women's golf team won the 25-26 state women's golf team championships in the 1A, 2A division, and whereas this marks a milestone with the first state championship in the team's history, and whereas the Avery County Board of Commissioners recognizes this great accomplishment, and whereas this brings statewide recognition and distinction to all of Avery County, now therefore be it resolved that the Avery County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly recognizes and congratulates the Avery County High School women's golf team for winning the 25-26 NCHSAA Team State Women's Golf Championship in the 1A, 2A division. And I ask you to adopt this the first day of December 2025.
Need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
If members of that team will come forward, please. We're going to want a picture.
Congratulations.
Mr. Shook take the other one to pass along.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of team members that are sick.
Yes, okay, turn around, we'll look that way. All right, stay close together. Okay, very good.
Ladies, thank you. I'd love to be number one. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you, thank you. Okay, board, next for your consideration is a resolution recognizing the Avery County High School National Championship GCSAA Turf Grass Science Team. Whereas the Avery County Board of Commissioners takes pride in recognizing student scholastic and athletic achievement in Avery County, and whereas the National GCSAA partnered with the National FFA to host the first National Turfgrass Science Invitational, and whereas Aaron King, Eli Church, Finley Trivet, and Preston Burnett represented Avery County at the National Turfgrass Science Invitational in San Diego, California, and whereas they competed and won the National GCSAA Turfgrass Science Team Invitational over competitors from across 9 states, whereas the Avery County Board of Commissioners recognizes this great accomplishment, and whereas this brings nationwide recognition to the distinction to all of Avery County, now therefore it be resolved that the Avery County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly recognizes and congratulates the Avery County High School Turfgrass Science Team on their outstanding achievements for the 25-26 school year. I ask you to adopt this effective the first day of December 2025.
Need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen, if you'll come forward and Mr. President. No flowers for you, I'm sorry. And nobody wants your picture? Gentlemen, thank you. Again, we like this.
No, probably not. There's 10 of them calling in right now, so probably not to leave it.
Thank you. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. Thank you. We're probably all going to. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Craig, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Now, y'all can stay for the fun part.
They were nice and said, do we need this badge?
We'll move to 3.2D, public comment. Before we get started, I'll read this. The time limit for any comment to the board is 3 minutes. Board members are not expected to comment or take any action on matters during public comment. Any individual speaking during public comment shall address the entire board. Any person who willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupts the session will be asked to leave the meeting. If you have any questions about public comment, copies of the public comment policy are on the table with the sign-up sheet. If you would like to speak to an agenda item or speak during public comment, you must sign up on the sheets at the door. Time limit to speak on an agenda item is also 3 minutes. Please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. Mr. Connor Brown.
I'm not having a mic here. It's good to see you guys. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. I'm going to be really quick. I don't really have any legislative items that we're going to hit on today. Biggest thing, obviously, is still FEMA reimbursement. We saw a lot of funds come through at the beginning of this month, end of last month, towards DOT for Avery County work that they did. I believe those were reimbursements, so that's good sign that it's starting to come out. We saw Henderson County also got some pretty significant reimbursements back. So I know those funds are really important to you guys, and we're seeing some motion on it, which is good. Also just wanted to extend the invite to you guys if we haven't got the chance to kind of touch base on any FEMA questions that you have. I know it's a full year later now, but we're getting into the sticks of reimbursements and other things that are starting to slow down. So just wanted to extend the invite. If we can help you with anything, to please feel free to reach out to our office. So, and that's it.
Thank you, sir.
3.2C, that is public comment on the agenda item. We have none tonight.
Do not, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll move to 3.2D, board appointments, Avery Fire Commission, Commissioner appointee. The House Bill 673 establishes Avery County Fire Commission. The Fire Commission consists of a 5-member board. 2 of the board members shall be consumers appointed by the Avery County Board of Commissioners. 2 of the board members shall be firemen approved by the Avery County Fire Association and appointed by the Avery County Board of Commissioners. The other 4 sitting members of the commission shall choose the remaining member. This is a 2-year term. So the candidate is Tracy Buchanan, and I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Move to 3.3, County Commissioner staff items, subdivision approved to the reserve at 1911.
Good evening, Board. My name's Heather Bender. I'm here representing Elevate Land Group this evening. We've got a few plats on for this evening. So I'll just start with one of them. Do you want to do them by one or is it collective?
We can do them at one time.
Okay. All right. So we've got lots 40, 44, and 45. That's in the reserve at 1911. These were just additional lots that were added on that we didn't have all the initial information to add them on with the full plat. So this has been through the board and all other approvals.
Any questions, Ward? Need a motion to approve.
Seconded.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The second one that we have is also lots 4 and 7 in the reserve at 1911, same thing. They were just added on as we finished out the road and obtained all the final information to plat them.
Any questions? Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the final one that we have on is for the sanctuary. That's lots S1 through S7. It's a PUD, and it was also approved by the planning board.
Any questions, Ward? Now I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. If I can get your signature on it. Thank you.
Well, Allison about that.
Thank you.
Okay, we need subdivision for Avery County LLC, Blue Haven.
Yeah, it's actually blueprint for the Blue Ridge Avery County LLC, so if that helps you any. And this has all gone through the planning commission, and it's 42 lots here in Newland. Any questions about that?
Any questions?
I have one question, Jane, and I'm sorry. The remaining property will be part, since it is a PUD, will be green space, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Is that indicated on the survey?
I have no idea. I'm sorry, do you know, Allison, if it is? I mean,
So that will be deeded to the homeowners association? in the
yes. I
future?
don't know that it'll be, I think it will be deeded to, that's our plan, is to
Okay.
deed it to the homeowners association
Okay.
after that, and they'll take it over. But that
Okay.
will not be for 10 years. Okay?
Okay. I was just curious.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I was just going to comment on that the same thing, because so there's 42 lots on the,
Uh-huh,
is that correct?
yes, sir.
So the ordinance says it has to be 22,000 square feet per lot green space, and, which is just under half acre.
There's quite a bit of land up there that we're not putting houses on, so I think it will be fine. If you look down, if you go down towards Seminole Street, down in that direction, the plans down in there is that will all be green space, and possibly have a picnic shelter and a playground down in that area.
I think the entire property is over, it's more than about 30 acres to track it shows it.
Yeah, that was my question, because
Right.
the plat shows 30 acres,
Right,
and so 42 plats, that would be, you'd have to have almost 21 acres of green space.
oh, okay, well, there's not 21 acres of green space, not that I know of. So I can go back and look at it and have Mike Lacy look at it, because Mike's the one that drew this up for us.
I think there's a couple of adjacent properties that's not included in that track that may get them acres if they need.
Okay,
If I'm not mistaken, I can't attest to it.
but
I'll have to look that up as well, but my understanding is this is it. Because if you look around it, we don't, none of all the properties around it are things, so. And I can ask Mike, I'm sorry that I don't know. I found out at 2:30 today that I was supposed to be here tonight, so.
well, I mean, this is, a large PUD. I mean, planned unit development, it's all treated as one. And I not worried, concerned about future submissions, not from y'all, that would look to be using this same format.
Right,
And that's why I
yeah.
think
And
it's-
like I said, I don't know exactly how much of this property around it is, I mean, it's all supposed to be green space other than the lots, but I can't tell you how much property that is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dennis, I just don't know. I
Well, I
don't have
think
that
that-
information. I can find it out for you.
are, is all 42 lots scheduled to be used?
As of right now, there's a possibility that there's some that we won't be able to use because of the slope and et cetera on them. But as of right now, our plan is, this plan has 42.
Right.
I will tell you, there's 4 in question, so it would go down to 38.
That formula kind of depends.
Tell me that formula again, I'm sorry.
Supposed to be 22,000 square feet
Okay.
of green space for each lot.
For each lot, okay. Okay. Well, like I said, Mike drew this up for us, so he should have, hopefully he would have known that, but we'll look at it.
So Allison, when the planning board approved this, they were aware that there was enough green space? Okay.
Thank you, Allison.
It's just not, obviously, it's not jumping out at me, and I'm sorry.
I don't have a copy, but I'm like Jane, I'll double check that and
Yeah.
make sure
I mean,
it's not noted, we'll have it noted.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll
So that-
definitely make sure that's on
Based
there.
on this plat, that only leaves like 10 acres for 42 lots. And I know they're small, but
They're small lots, yes, sir, as you can look and see. I think I have the lot sizes on my map over here. I think that's on this one. Maybe not. Let's see. No, I do not. I thought I had it on this piece of paper, but I don't. I don't have the lot sizes. They are small. Yeah, right here, lot 1's
Yeah, they're right
0.33,
here.
lot 2's 0.19. And it goes down. I do have the lots and acreages. I guess they're on this one. Yeah, they're down at the bottom of
Gotcha.
that map.
Yeah.
it was just, when I was doing
I got
the
you.
math on it, it looked like a
The
lot.
lots are small, very small. So,
All right,
All questions good?
need a motion to approve.
So, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've got a better felt pen.
Another
I'm not getting it right. There you go, there you go. It's gone.
Operator Aaron.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Could be hanged when you-
Could be the angle which I was holding the pen. Yep. Move to 3.3D, tax administrator report, Ms. Nigeria Clerk.
Good evening. Please approve our collections for the month of November, $4,753,815.04.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Need a second, I think, or, I jumped in there. Need a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
We approved income, yeah.
We usually do pretty quick.
Please approve, I have one release of $265.84, and what this is a camper that was destroyed during the storm. The gentleman, you have 30 days to appeal your value once you get a bill, and he came in, and I said, can you bring me information, whatever. So it took him a while, but he brought me all of his information as far as his insurance claim and everything on his camper.
Need a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Our total sales for the month of November were 50. Our sales ratio for this month is 58%. That hurt my soul really bad, but I can sort of see why. Last year there was 30 and the ratio was 68%. But just a little fun fact, out of those 50 sales, 31 of them were all resort homes. There were 3 regular homes, just average people, and then the rest of them were 16 vacant lots. So we're seeing an uprise. But I also wanted to show you the 3 tax cards that I included in your packet. If you'll notice, they're all for the same house. And it's sort of a snapshot in time. This is kind of explaining why we can't pick out what's going to happen, because this house started out at $74,300 at 888 square feet. There was an addition done to it, and in 2022 it jumped to $191,000, and it was 1,032 square feet. And then in this packet, it sold for $495,000, and we have it on at $229,000. So there's no way to predict that kind of stuff. So I just wanted you to see that, so you know why we're at 58% right now. You have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to 3.3E, upward sales providers update, Ms. Sarah Price.
Hello, good evening. How are you guys? All right, so tonight you are going to be hearing updates from the 6 nonprofits that you funded this fiscal year. So these are progress reports from your nonprofits. They are not quite at the halfway mark. Of course, that'll be actually like the end of December. But because January and February are going to be very busy preparing for public input meetings, we asked them to go ahead and give their progress report updates in December. So I'm going to give you just a very brief overview. I did send you a copy of a flyer. It's a front and back. You did approve 9 different strategies. There are 12 options under option A that the county is eligible to spend funding under. I did provide a breakdown for you. Of course, that's across all 6 of the nonprofits. So if you would like more of a breakdown, please let me know, and I'm happy to get you that information. So tonight you're going to be hearing from Broken Wheel Ministries. This is their first year of funding, so this is the first time that you'll be hearing a progress report from them. They did receive $25,000 in funding for this year under collaborative strategic planning and employment-related services. I'm really excited for you guys to hear some updates from them. Freedom Life, unfortunately, was not able to be here tonight. Unfortunately, coincides with their largest annual fundraiser. So of course, we definitely wanted them to attend their largest annual fundraiser for the year. So I will be giving you guys some updates on their behalf. Milena and Danny did prepare more of a narrative for you that goes along with their slides. I did include a copy of that in the packet that I gave you guys earlier this evening. And then I also will invite you guys to attend our Drug Crisis Roundtable meeting in 2 weeks from today, Monday, December 15th. We are making that a little bit of a longer meeting, so we're starting at 10 a.m. That'll be here in this room. Dennis normally, Commissioner Aldridge, normally comes to that meeting with us. We can technically have one other commissioner join us for those meetings without needing to be called as an official meeting. If you guys do ever want to make that an official meeting, we're certainly able to make that happen if that's something, if more than 2 of you would like to attend that. But that'll be 2 weeks from today here. We start at 10. We're hoping to get it done in about 2 hours. If we finish up a little early, that's always great too. But Milena will be there at that meeting. So if you would like to attend and ask Milena any questions herself, she will be giving this exact same presentation 2 weeks from today as well. Or of course, I can always share her contact information and Danny's as well if you don't already have it, and I'm sure they would be happy to speak with you guys at any point. But for this evening, I will be giving you guys just a very brief overview, and then they did provide a narrative that goes along with their slides. We do have High Country Community Health. This is their third year of funding. Really excited for you guys to hear from Sarah on some of the progress that they've been able to make here in Avery County. Marjorie Williams Academy is here as well. I'm really excited for you guys to hear from them. Sorry, I forgot to mention High Country Community Health did get $30,000, and then Williams Academy has $35,000 for this year. On your sheet is a breakdown of their strategy selection as well. We do have MRJC, Mediation and Restorative Justice Center, with us as well. We've got 3 of their staff members here to share some updates. They received $50,000 in funding. And then Western Youth Network, I'm really excited for you guys to hear some updates from. This is their first year of funding as well. So this will be the first time that you hear a progress report from Western Youth Network. I'm really excited for you guys to hear from Amber. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it over to our nonprofits. I'm going to advance the slides for them. And then I left copies of the slides up here if you guys need them. And Broken Wheel Ministries will be first.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Brian Taller, I'm president of Broken Wheel Ministry. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity of the funding that we received. Our mission statement, we're a faith-based organization. We're founded by veterans and first responders, and we assist with maintaining and gaining transportation to people in need. Our vision statement is helping those in need so they can help themselves in Jesus' name. We actually got our nonprofit status back in 2023, so we were a pre-hurricane nonprofit. We basically have 3 different programs. We have a car repair program. We only charge a $50 shop fee and a retail price of the parts. So we don't have a whole lot of room to make any money, but we work with other organizations. We have a car donation program where we donate cars to people in need. And we do offer Kelley Blue Book value on a vehicle for tax donation. And then we have an education where we let interns come in, people re-entry, struggling with addiction. We've had some of those this past year come in and try to teach them a trade so they can go out and get a job. We've worked with Thrive in the past and continue to work with Thrive. And then I've got some meetings coming up about getting some high school students, some at-risk youth and things like that, and teach them a trade, get their hands busy again. It was very important for me growing up, keeping my hands busy. And we're located by the high school, so we're looking forward to doing that this next year. And the reason I explain all 3 programs, the money that you helped us with helped all 3 of these programs. It didn't just help one avenue of it, it helped all 3 of them. I wanted to share the statistics for 2024. We were able to donate 5 cars, we repaired 46 cars, and we did it with 3 volunteers. With y'all supporting other people's support, this year alone, and we're still counting, we've donated 13. Projected, if everything goes right, there'll be 5 more donated before Christmas. We've repaired 76, and we've got 7 more on the schedule. And that's already changed since the slideshows. We've been able to hire 1 full-time employee. We've hired 4 part-time people this year. We've had 3 interns from NC Works, still have the same 3 volunteers, and 2 people with community services come and receive some help from us. Just wanted to show how much we've grown in 1 year with the support that we've got. This breaks the funding down. We received $15,000 for employment-related services, $10,000 in the collaborative strategic planning. To date, we've received half the money. We spent $19,091.04 on the equipment and setup that we said that we would buy. It went over budget, of course, but we had other funding avenues. Some of the money that we did raise ourselves through our work and things, was able to make up the difference. And then the one employee, we was able to go ahead and move them to full-time, even though we haven't received the second amount of funding. But we had enough in our budget that knew that we could get to that point and that money would be able to afford them after that point. And so we've already been able to do what we explained we would do with the grant. This is just, these are direct people, not, because we have a lot of family members and stuff from the opioid crisis. But since getting that equipment, just in a month, we've helped 8 clients through Homestead, Oasis, Freedom Life, and Daymark get tires. We've been able to purchase 2 sets of tires, because now we're able to do it at a wholesale instead of retail price for 2 cars that's been donated. And we've been able to teach 2 individuals how to change tires. And that's just within the past month, 2 months we've had the equipment. And, we collaborate with all the other nonprofits, all the ministries in Avery County, churches. We work closely with individuals in need from drug court, Freedom Life, Homestead Recovery, Stepping Stones. That's just to name a few. We've been close to the public. That's why a lot of people don't know about us, because we work with the organizations directly. But just wanted to say that this is an opportunity for us to open some services to the public, help us create and make some revenue. We did get picked up by Rough Country. I don't know if y'all know who that is. We are authorized dealer and installer for them now. So we're looking at ways, and this equipment is able to help us where we can move into an area where we're not grant dependent. I see this being something to be able to stand alone once there is no grant money and continue working and flourishing and growing into whatever God wants it to be. And it's a ministry because everything we do is in Jesus' name. Thank you for your time, Jim.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to just go over a little bit for Freedom Life for you guys. Of course, you guys are well familiar with Freedom Life at this point, but they did receive funding under 2 different strategies. They've got, under the collaborative strategic planning, they've got 2 different action teams that they've been working with this year. The hurricane changed things a little bit, so they really needed to focus in on some of their action teams that can make a little bit of progress here in the next year, and then in the next year they're hoping to expand on those action teams. So they had their advocacy and awareness action team and their housing action team. Under their collaborative strategic planning, under the REO programs, they do have 2 funded individuals, staff members that are funded as part of the grant funds that they receive. And I know that Milena having some assistance has really been a big help for her. So, the support of the county has been, a direct correlation to the expansion of Freedom Life here in Avery County. They have expanded on their volunteer goals. So they are hoping to expand a volunteer network into all 7 towns here in Avery County, as well as all of the unincorporated communities. They have started in Elk Park because they have a lot of community partners there that they've been able to get a lot of the groundwork started there. They are very excited to have launched that community team. They do have 10 volunteers that are working in Elk Park, and they do have a team coordinator as well that it's been appointed that's making a lot of progress for them. On their housing progress, they are very excited about the partnership with Mayland Community College and some of the expansion on that actual housing location. They do have an engineering firm hired, site plans have been developed, and they are working on preliminary blueprints. It's going to be a multi-stage development. I believe last I heard they had 4 scheduled phases for that project. So it'll be something that is in the works over the next several years for sure, but they're really excited about the progress. And of course, we know that housing is a major concern here. We've heard a lot of updates about that already tonight. So I'm going to skip through a little bit of some of the, like, what exactly it is that, they do in the jail. You guys have heard a little bit from Elena and Danny before about some of that work. Just to highlight some of the statistics for so far for this year since starting the grant, July 1, they have 60 clients that have been served. There are 325 different community services that obviously, each client's receiving numerous services, and specifically 192 have been in the jail with those clients. And then they did provide a little bit more information about some of their, some of the remaining funds, they of course will continue to fund their staff positions, fund their reentry programs, and then in the spring, I think that their action teams are really going to be working a lot more on some of these housing goals as well. I am not going to read this for you. You do have a copy of it, but they did want to also share a client story with you. And like I said, I would encourage you guys, if you're able to attend our December 15th meeting, if at least one additional one of you, or like I said, we can make it an official commissioner meeting. And then Melena, I'm sure, would be happy to also share a little bit more about this client. I know that she was really excited to share this with you guys. And then I do also want to say, I forgot to mention this, and then when Brian was giving his update, that reminded me, because of the way that the grant is set up with each of your nonprofit organization partners, they receive 50% of the funds up front for their grant. So whatever the total is that I told you in the beginning that they've received only 50% of that. After providing their progress reports, and then giving us a financial progress report before the end of the year, they will then, 1st of January, as soon as we all come back in the new year, then receive the second half of their grants. And then we have asked all of them to come back and provide another update for you guys. It'll be later in 2026, within 2 months of the end of their grant. So early next fall or late summer, they will all be back to give final grant updates. So just wanted to highlight that I forgot to mention that they have not received all of their money yet. And with that, I will pass it over to High Country Community Health.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Clark, and I'm representing High Country Community Health this evening. And we received grant funding for the past few years, and I just wanted to provide some updates. So far, since in this reporting period since July 1st, we have provided our evidence-based treatment for opioid use disorder. We treat opioid use disorder in the clinic in the primary care setting and provide primary care services as well to our patients. And with the grant funding, we have been able to help with funding our behavioral health position. It was filled with Liz Hemby, who was a licensed clinical social worker associate and a licensed clinical addiction specialist associate. And she has seen 196 unique patients in the Avery office since July 1st of 2025. She did put in her notice on October 31st, but we've already replaced her with a new employee who actually interned with us and kind of knows the culture and was trained in our behavioral health program. Her name is Chris Soto, and she's a licensed marriage and family therapist associate who started on November 17th. And this is just kind of a representation of how our medication works. So in our clinic, we provide buprenorphine as a medication, and we also provide the counseling piece with that. And the funding that we're using is more for the counseling piece because we kind of need both that medical side of things and also the behavioral health piece. So this is just a visual of an opioid receptor and how this medication works. So on the left side, you can see the empty opioid receptor of someone who has become tolerant on opioids. And when they are not able, when they don't have any opioids in the system, they begin to feel those withdrawal symptoms, as you can see that, like withdrawal pain on the bottom. And in order to relieve that pain, the person will use full opioids such as oxycodone or heroin or fentanyl to alleviate those very intense physical withdrawal symptoms. And this causes dependence and addiction issues. Thank you. And the buprenorphine medication is really quite unique and interesting because it is able to actually block the effects of those opioids, such as, the fentanyl and the heroin. It binds to that receptor quicker than the actual heroin or full opioid. And then what it does is it blocks those opioids. So if someone was to be on our medication and then take oxycodone, then it would be blocked. And this actually helps with any cravings for opioids because it sort of tricks the brain into thinking that they've actually taken something, but it doesn't cause that same euphoric effect or be as intense as the full opioid, and the risk of overdose is reduced as well. Thank you. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like in the clinic, this would be kind of our workflow for a new patient. We get referrals from people just calling in, asking for help, also getting referred by other people in the program or in the community. We also screen for substance use in our clinic, so all new patients fill out paperwork, and we do basic screeners to see, if they have any issues with opioids or other substances. And then we may get a referral from their primary care that meets with them and then has the discussion about this potential opportunity for them for treatment. Once they decide to enter our program, we establish care with them and they meet with our behavioral health provider, which would be Chris Soto at this point, to confirm that opioid use disorder and to complete a biopsychosocial assessment. So it's just kind of talking to them, getting their history, and understanding where they're coming from and providing that additional behavioral health support. And then after that, they see our medical provider, since we are integrated care, behavioral health and medical together in the clinic. And they screen for other medical conditions, help with any primary care needs. They screen for hepatitis, and we can provide the treatment in the clinic as well. And any blood pressure, regular medical things. And then we start them on medications and have them come back to the physical clinic in the future. So some demographics for our patients. All of our patients are seen on site at our Newland office, and we have 95 of those 133 patients that are residents of Avery County, 21 of Mitchell, and 8 residents of Carter County, Tennessee, and the other 9 or so are around the other North Carolina counties. Sometimes our patients will move away and they continue with their provider and travel up here. But all of our visits are conducted in person. And the majority of our patients have Medicaid, followed by uninsured, and we have some folks with other insurance. And so we do have our sliding scale to provide access for healthcare in general and also for our program in our clinic. And our patients are predominantly white. The largest age group is between about 35 to 44, and we have just slightly more males and females. And in terms of the grant funding, we have been able to essentially just pay for our personnel for our behavioral health position so far, and have spent the $10,772.22, and then $930.41 on fringe benefits for that employee. And in terms of, we were also funded under the naloxone distribution piece. We haven't purchased any naloxone yet in this first half of the grant, since we still have quite a bit in stock. But we have given out 52 individual doses since, I think, of April, just slightly before the reporting period. at our purple pantry that is available to the community 24/7. And our plan for the rest of the grant is to spend the remaining funds on our behavioral health salary and the fringe benefits to support those therapy services, and to purchase more naloxone and medical supplies that we can provide to the community in that purple pantry.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Thank
Sarah.
you so
Really
much.
appreciate it. And next up is Marjorie Williams Academy.
Hello, thank you. I'm Dr. Cindy Austin, and I'm the principal of Marjorie Williams Academy. This is Miss Cassie Austin, and she is our EC director and reading specialist that works directly with the students that this program funds. The student eligibility criteria for this program are Avery County students that demonstrate significant academic gaps and are trauma related to challenges tied to the opioid impact. They're performing below grade level in reading and/or math based on benchmark or state assessments, and they have an ACE score of 3 or higher linked to parental opioid misuse, incarceration, death, or family disruption in some way. The exit criteria academically is a student who scores at or above the grade level on at least 2 consecutive benchmark progress monitoring assessments, has closed the identified skills gap that led to the program placement, maintains at least a proficient or grade level rating for 6 to 9 weeks in the regular classroom setting without intensive intervention support. There's also, with the opioid crisis and students that have these ACE scores, you have not just necessarily academic behaviors, but you also have other behaviors that are indicators that lead to their ACE score and their low academic performance. Students that show regular attendance, engagement, completion of intervention sessions and classwork can exit. Students who demonstrate ability to use learned strategies independently during core instruction. A team can exit a student. The MTSS team can agree that the student has met goals and is ready to transition out of intensive support, and students have reached a plateau at or above benchmark, and additional intervention time is not expected to yield any kind of significant gain. And then optional transition follow-up. Students complete a monitoring phase 4 to 6 weeks with reduced intervention frequency while maintaining growth. There's no regression after support fade. And students moving into middle school is an exit. Now, some of the students may not place out academically, but because they move into the middle school, we're still providing them services, but it's not through the grant. And this is the budget that we have set out as far as personnel and licensed therapists and professional development.
So since we are funded kindergarten through 5th grade, these are the different measures that are kind of measuring student growth. So we have 2 students in kindergarten. Last year, we just focused on 4th and 5th grade, but with increased funding, we were able to stretch at K-5 this year. So we have 2 students, and this is measured through the Dibbles assessment. That's a K-3 state assessment that every public school has to have. So any student K-3 in North Carolina takes this assessment. Along the bottom, you can see what's assessed in kindergarten. This is the beginning of year measure, and then we're tracking progress monthly. If they're low, every 2 weeks to see how they're progressing. A composite score that's given is just given at the beginning, middle, and end of year, so we'll have those measures in January. You can see letter names, how many they can do in a minute, phonemic awareness, letter sounds, decoding, which is being able to blend a word together, and then word reading, which is like sight words. So that is the goal when they first came in, and you can see kind of where they placed overall.
And you can see here we're pretty excited about student A, who's in the gold color, because they're right just at goal, some exceeding on the phonemic awareness. So that's something that we will track, but we will track that based on the exit criteria to see how they perform. Student B has some work to do, but it is promising, especially since this is kindergartner.
Yes. And the goals will kind of jump tremendously from being able to read one word in a minute, you know, by the middle of year after being in kindergarten, it'll jump. So we're, you know, making sure that we're not counting them out early on. And then 1st through 5th grade no longer has those measures. They are based on a story. So they're given a story that's on grade level, and they're timed a minute while reading that story. And then you're measured, they're reading fluency of how many words they've read in a minute, and then they're reading accuracy, the percentage of words they read correctly. And these are norms given by the state. So at the beginning of 1st grade, a student should be able to read 10 words a minute in 1st grade, is what that's saying, with 67% accuracy. So their overall composite for student B is starting to approach the goal, but we can see as far as the accuracy is concerned, we still have some work to do. And then the same thing with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. We have 4 students in the program in 2nd grade. Student D, kind of similar to the student in kindergarten, is approaching the goals in several areas, and their composite is over the beginning benchmark, but we have to take into account attendance, behaviors, and other things throughout the semester.
And student D is a good example of how academics and behaviors can be totally off. They have a very high A score. Parents have been incarcerated due to the opioid situation. Highly intelligent, but exhibits a lot of behaviors in class that get in his way. So we're working on the behaviors. I think once we get the behaviors under control due to the trauma of his environment, then the academics will flourish even more.
And then in 3rd grade, you not only have to take into account the DIBELS assessment, which measures their reading ability, but you also have, you know, the state EOG assessments. While the EOGs are not until the end of the year, the state does provide us with what they call an NC check-in. And you have 3 throughout the year that measures their progress on grade level material, like reading comprehension, passages, and how they're answering with those questions. So this first part is still the DIBELS assessment with the reading accuracy and the reading fluency, but now we've added in their NC check-in score. They've taken one so far this school year, and we'll have another one coming in the winter. But you can see the check-in scores for these 2 students. While student G is really high in reading ability, you can see on grade level, you know, with the reading passages, the endurance, and all the curriculum, they're not quite there yet. They still need that intervention piece. And then
we skipped 4th. We didn't have any 4th graders, so that's a praise in our world.
Because a few were able to graduate,
yes.
So that was
yes.
a big deal. So that leaves just 5th grade, and we have 3 5th graders in the program measuring the same measures with the DIBELS and the NC check-ins in math and ELA. We're seeing some progress, especially in math with student J. The goal is 100, but as a team decision, if by the end of the year, if they have met their reading proficiency and they're proficient on both assessments on the EOGs, then that would be a reason to promote them out of the program.
And these were 4th graders last year. Might have had a couple of the 3. Did they go through the program last year as well? Can you remember
They
that?
did it, and a few exited out.
And a few exited out. So that's showing some progress from last year, which was the beginning part of the program. So we're pretty excited about that. We think another year they will definitely be closing the gap.
Great job, guys. Thank you. And then we have MRJC next. And they've got 3 of their staff members here to provide you guys some updates.
So I'm going to start out. My name's Marissa Cornell. I'm the Executive Director of the Mediation and Restorative Justice Center. We call it MRJC, which is, I think, the same number of syllables. So either way, we are grateful for the opportunity to come and share a little bit about the Avery Recovery Vehicle tonight, or Avery RV, that is shorter, I think, and our work in the community. So we're a nonprofit that's provided restorative justice and conflict resolution services in Avery for over 25 years. And the Avery RV program is an extension of our peer-led recovery branch of programs, which we call Homestead Recovery. So you may have heard Homestead mentioned a few times. So here in Avery, we also provide youth and adult mediation, peer accountability circles program, and we coordinate recovery court. And so all of those are kind of connections that we've made alongside of this Avery RV program. So this is our second year of opioid settlement funding. Our first year, we faced some significant implementation barriers. Helene was a big factor in that, but there were some other ones. So for the second year, we kept the same goals and strategies, and we just adjusted the logistics a little bit to increase our accessibility and our availability in the community. So to do that, we pursued some external funding from VIA to purchase our own vehicle and trailer for the Avery Recovery Vehicle. We call it the Wheels of Change. And that's for mobile outreach, so you'll get to see a picture of it here in just a minute. We've gotten it wrapped, it's beautiful. And then also some other funding from DHHS that's going to help us expand one of our justice system diversion programs called LEAD, which is Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. And so these are resources we've been able to leverage and contribute in kind to make the Avery RV program more comprehensive and effective, and to broaden the recovery ecosystem is what we like to call it, that we're all building here together in Avery County. And it's exciting to see what all of our fellow agencies are doing. So some of the programs, well, as you can see on the slide, that we chose 4 opioid settlement strategies: recovery support services, naloxone distribution, post-overdose response, and criminal justice diversion programs. A lot of our programs are diversion programs in various senses of the word, whether people are at risk or already involved in the justice system. We're available for post-overdose response. We distribute lots of naloxone, and Brittany's going to talk more about that, and everything that we do is recovery support services. We also do mobile peer support and recovery support services on a daily basis. Our peer support, Brittany Matheson, is going to talk a little bit. She's available in person Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4, and by phone on Fridays. And she goes out in the community, she's mobile, she's meeting people where they are and where they need assistance. We do basic supplies distribution, overdose prevention. We started a new group called Smart Recovery that we'll talk a little bit more about, and do lots of community engagement. So I will pass it over to Mackenzie Laney, our program community outreach and program specialist, to tell you a little bit more about that.
All right, so I'm going to talk about some numbers. First, some program data. So these are just a kind of a snapshot, some pictures of the ways in which we've served Avery County from July to November. So this is about 5 months worth of work. So Brittany has served 31 individuals, not specifically with peer support and case management, so it's a bit of a more involved service. We do some basic supplies requests, connections and referrals. So you'll see that there's 45 connections or referrals provided, and that could be to other agencies that we work with that have also got an opioid settlement, to public health, to MAUD, or behavioral health, other recovery services, whatever that person might need. Brittany has had 63 sessions of peer support. And 4 people have successfully entered either residential treatment or residential supportive living, whatever that might look like for them, but some sort of supportive residential program. And that is since July. Brittany goes to court a lot, so she's provided court support 26 times. That might be in recovery court, but it might also be attending district criminal court or superior court with someone that she's serving. And then finally, has been hosting Smart Recovery once a week since September. So that is a weekly support group for people in all sorts of recovery, and on average has about 8 people in attendance. So in total for those 13 groups, we've had 107, but a high was 19 people for one group. So that was exciting. Okay, and then spending, we received $50,000. These words are much bigger. But that first bucket is how much we received. So we've got $50,000. As of October 31st, we had about $700 in expenses, leaving us with about $34,000. And so if we're looking at like, this was a third of the year pretty much, we're about on track, a little bit under budget, because like Marissa mentioned, we've been able to leverage some outside funding sources for supplies, because most of this is full-time staff person and fringe and benefits and things like that. So right on track. And I am going to pass it over to Brittany.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about a couple of events. One to highlight is Save a Life Day. So Save a Life Day is an annual nationwide initiative dedicated to preventing opioid overdose deaths through a widespread distribution of free naloxone and overdose reversal training. The event aims to reduce the stigma associated with substance use and empower the community members to save lives. This started in 2020 as a small pilot program in 2 counties in West Virginia and has since grown into a national movement, with all 50 states participating for the first time this year. I served as the county organizer for Avery County, and I set up training tables at Probation, High Country Community Health, and First Baptist Church of Elk Park. We gave out naloxone stickers, buttons, resource information, and ultimately we trained 13 people to save a life. And we are already registered for 2026. The other event that's coming up next week, is it next? Yes, next week, okay, is the Wheels of Change. So this is our mobile unit. We were able to purchase with outside funding. We have spent the last few months outfitting the trailer and getting it wrapped and planning our first weeks of outreach. The Wheels of Change will be set up at the health department from 12 to 4 every day next week, and we are looking forward to connecting with the community and offering supplies, peer support, and relationship building out of the mobile unit. So, community engagement, I want to touch on some additional aspects of the community engagement. So I attend the Joint Reentry Council meeting. I also go to RACE, which is Resilient Avery Community Engagement. I also I support the recovery court team, and I'm very lucky to be a part of that. And coming up, we have the DSS meetings. I'll be attending those and also joining Daymark on their intensive outpatient group. So I'm looking forward to that. So some of our connections and partners. So as you can see, they're highlighted up here. So I partner with Freedom Life a lot. They've actually allowed me to have an office there to be able to sit down and meet with folks who are able to come out and meet with me. I can also go out and meet people at their home, in their yard, at McDonald's. So that's really nice, just being able to give them that resource. And so another one I want to highlight is Probation. They've also given me an office to be able to sit down and just work with people. And all the other people that I partner with, they've been so amazing in welcoming me to this community and just allowing me to help these people get these resources. So, I'm going to pass this back to, and then show and tell. So this is, sorry guys, this is our Avery RV bag that we get out to the community. So in here we have overdose reversal kits. We also have gloves. So
We have wraps, so wound care. We've got Band-Aids. It's a great kit to have in your car, so I put these out. The best way I found to get them out to the community is to put them at probation, because if you've had some sort of justice involvement, you also know people who could use these, and I suggest that anybody get one and have it in your vehicle. And I'm going to pass this back to Melissa.
Thanks, Beth. Our last slide. So we are happy to answer any questions that you have when the time for that comes. And we are also happy to pass our little bag around if you'd like to see it as well. Or if you need one, let us know. Yeah. Thank you very much for having us tonight.
Good job.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And then we've got Western Youth Network. Last but not least, and then we'll have an opportunity for questions if you guys have any of the organizations.
Good evening. I'm Amber Dixon with Western Youth Network. Thank you for having me here today. Western Youth Network was founded in 1985, so we just celebrated 40 years. And we were founded at first as Watauga Youth Network, but now we're serving 5 counties, Avery being one of them. There's also Ashe, Allegheny, Watauga, and Wilkes. We came to Avery in 2002. That was the second county outside of Watauga County, and we expanded into Avery County with our mentoring program. After that, we changed our name to Western Youth Network to more accurately represent who we're serving. Next slide. So what WIN does in Avery is we've got 3 programs, and we're all 3 of those programs are now in Avery County as of, I think, September. We've got community health, which is where I work and what I'm going to spend most of my time speaking on. That usually lives with the Avery Youth Coalition and Alternative to Suspension. We have our mentoring, which is our oldest program in Avery County, and now we've got youth programming, which is mostly after school and summer camp for youth, and we're hiring for that. So that came in September. We were able to do that. We were able to do that. We started community health in. We've been in Avery County in community health for several years, but we were able to hire a dedicated Avery community health coordinator in 2019. That was Tiffany Moon. She was with our agency up until September of this year. We miss her, but we're cheering her on in her next endeavor. Through the work that she did in founding Avery Youth Coalition and the partnerships that were built there, that's where Alternative to Suspension came in. Okay, now next slide. Through that, we chose this because of a lot of the community partnerships that Tiffany had built and maintained through her work here. It was requested through the schools and other partnerships, and also built on data that was received through the community health assessments through Toe River Health Department. I've got those referenced on there. We also began surveying our high school students, and in 2023, the Avery Youth Survey, 24.3% of our 9th through 12th grade students reported past 30-day use of alcohol, tobacco, or vapes. I think it's really important to recognize that even though we see low rates of opioid use in our youth, when they begin experimenting with substances in their adolescent years, that leads to a heightened risk of dependency of heavier substances as they grow older. It's also important to note we have a partnership with the Appalachian State University's Health and Wellness Coalition, and they attend our Watauga Coalition. And one thing that director stated was that out of the college students that he sees who are seeking services for substance use dependencies, it is overwhelmingly with the youth who started using in their middle school and high school years. So early intervention and prevention greatly impact the ability of people to not form dependencies later. Next slide. So Alternative to Suspension, we're using our Healthy Futures curriculum. It's focused primarily on nicotine dependency among youth and is geared towards students who have already been caught. So this would be counted as an early intervention strategy. uses principles of motivational interviewing, which is empathy, non-judgmental, and non-combative conversation, while also maintaining accountability with the students that it's working with. It also uses frameworks from cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a connection of thought, behavior, and emotion in order to support stages of intentional positive change. The program's goals are to discuss the realities of nicotine use, help those students develop their own individualized plan for setting goals related to their nicotine use, and manage that relationship that they have with nicotine and creating patterns as they grow older. Our current instructor is Kristen Clean. She lives in Banner Elk and has been working with Western Youth Network now for almost 10 years. Her primary role, if you look her up on our website, is the Watauga lead programmer. However, she's working with us in Avery County to deliver this program in Avery County High School. She was really excited to participate, as this is something that she's wanted to do for a while, and this is the first opportunity she's had to do this. So what this looks like is we create a closed cohort, so a group of students comes into this session together. Then they meet once a week for 4 weeks for 40 minutes at each session, and they move through this together in order to build shared trust. It allows them to move into space of safe vulnerability so that they can get to know each other, build a relationship with Kirsten, and actually get the most out of their time with her. We do gather pre and post surveys with those students, and we're able to do this because no one is there forced. They get their parents' permission to attend. This is a diversion to make sure that they're staying in school rather than be suspended. That's why it's called alternative to suspension. They focus on creating shared goals. They start sessions with building relationships and rapport with one another. And then cover myths and misconceptions about nicotine, cannabis, and vaping. And then they go over the impacts of the negative health impacts and the impacts that it has on their brain development. And then their own reasoning of why they use, as well as talking about not just the financial cost, but the emotional and mental and behavioral costs of using. Afterwards, by the last session, students are able to identify changes that they have observed in themselves and identify ways to reduce their use if they are still using, and identify positive coping strategies. And that's where the quit the hit comes into play, because you don't want to create a vacuum in taking away something without replacing it with a positive coping behavior. So those quit the hit kits come with different fidgets, gum, Tic Tacs, tea, other items that all offer an alternative. And we build these not just based on the curriculum, but also what we have seen in working with students for years in what works for them. Next slide. So what does this look like for Avery students? As of October 31st, and I did this through October 31st because I could also match with some funding here. We've had 2 cohorts completed, so that's 8 classes totals from the beginning of the school year. We've had 17 unduplicated students that have been served, and we've provided 11 quit the hit kits. And with that also, kids can come back and be like, I need another, I need a refill, or I need more of this thing. So those kits are also just kind of revolving so that they continue to have that support. I also want to note that Avery is the first county that we've been able to offer alternative to suspension in, and that's a really big deal for us at WIN because we have other counties that have asked for this and we've not been able to provide it based on funding or based on staff capacity. So I want to definitely thank you all for giving us this opportunity to provide it. Next. So what we're learning so far, and this is as of October 31st, and this is from our pre and post surveys, 6 of those students said that they'd used more than one form of tobacco or nicotine. 7 reported using more than 3 days out of the last week. 2 students reported using multiple substances, cannabis and nicotine, and those are the only substances we're asking about in this. By the last survey, 8 students reported being ready to quit, and 6 students reported having supportive people in their lives. I do want to note on a couple of these things. On the 8 reporting being ready to quit, we asked that on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not ready at all and 10 being like very ready or have already quit. 8 scored this at, those 8 scored it as at a 6 or higher. 2 of those students reported that they did not want to make any change in their nicotine use. 1 student scored a 5. Out of those 2 students that reported not being ready to make a change, that does not mean that we're not going to continue working with them. It just is a data scoring point. I also think that it's important to note that out of the 6 that reported having supportive people in their lives, 2 of those reported that that person was their dating partner. While it's really important to have peer-to-peer support, I also want to recognize that having a supportive adult in a youth's life is their best metric for mitigating trauma and those ACEs that we've heard other community partners talk about today. This is also where some of WIN's mentoring program comes into place. I'm going to put a plug in there. If you know of anyone that wants to mentor with us, please send them our way. The other thing I want to note here that is more of this qualitative data piece is that as Kirsten's been working with the students individually, they will all say that they want to quit. But when they talk about the support that they have in their lives from their peers, that pressure that they receive from their peers is often negative. So they talk about the difficulty that there is in quitting. They talk about the pressure from friends to continue using, and home environments where substance use, whether that's nicotine or other substances, is normalized. So I think it's really important that we're focusing on that supportive space, and the students that are going are beginning to recognize Kirsten, trust her, and talk with her about other things that they're facing. Kirsten's also been able to advocate within the school to allow for a practice that if kids get caught using, they can return to alternative to suspension again. Now, we had piloted this alternative to suspension program in the previous school year. It was a pilot program, so we were figuring out how it was going to work. But this year it's in policy, and the school is allowing us to be there. And the policy states that this is an opportunity for students who would like it if they've been caught after their first time. Now, based on what we're learning through best practice and what Kirsten knows through her professional experience, she's recognizing that often it takes far more than one time, as we know that with adults, to quit using any type of substance. So she's been able to advocate within the school to adopt that policy a little bit, and we're using a practice of letting kids come back if they need to and having that continued support. So that's why you might see some of that number discrepancy in who's receiving and how we're counting, and those are where those numbers lie. Outside of alternative suspension, and I know that we're only speaking about, we've only received this funding as early intervention, but this also speaks to where community collaboration. We had a parent reach out to us who had caught their child using, not at school, and asked that Kirsten talk to their kid. And as a parent of teenagers, I recognize that having someone other than me as a parent to talk to their kid goes a long way in building trust and knowing that they have supportive adults in their lives. So while I want to make that point that there's still community collaboration going on, and the community is reaching out, even if it's not within the school setting. Next question, or next slide. So what is next? And I didn't include our slide here about our financials. I had submitted that to Sarah earlier, but I can give that data. And we've spent down just about $5,000 of the $1,250 that we've received so far. We've granted 25. Most of that has gone to salary. That is really low right now, but also alternative to suspension didn't start until September. Most of what we were doing before that was just planning. A lot of the rest of that funds will be used in this next half year or 3 quarters So currently we have 3 Avery-specific staff positions open. One of those is the Avery Community Coordinator staff, and we've got 2 working with youth specifically. We plan to continue advocacy and our relationship within the Avery County schools, and hopefully this will allow us to do this not just in the high school, but the middle schools as well. It will allow us to continue to purchase more Quit the Hit kits and more supplies for that. We'll also train staff to become certified tobacco prevention specialists, and we hope to hold 2 youth mental health first aid trainings. And this is a specific training for adults in the community so that they can be that support for children and youth. That's all I have for today. I really, again, thank you for your time. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it. So I know that was a lot. I did give you copies of the slides. And then I also have an electronic copy of the slides I will happily share with you as well. Do you have any questions for any 6 of our nonprofit partners? They're here and would happily answer any questions for you if you have any.
If I may, as the manager, thank you. Started the Drug Crisis Roundtable, thanks to the commissioners allowing me to do that, because we had to provide hope, and we're doing it. So this just shows when the government works with the nonprofits, together we can bring hope. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Things are happening. Looks good.
Thank you, guys.
No questions? Okay. I will remind you that they will be giving this presentation again in 2 weeks, Monday, December 15th at 10 a.m. here in this room. That presentation will be geared more towards some of our other community partners that we work with often and who frequently attend our Drug Crisis Roundtable meetings. I will also invite you're always more than welcome to attend our Drug Crisis Roundtable meetings the 3rd Monday of every month. Typically they're at 11 a.m. Of course, this month to allow some extra time for all 6 of our nonprofits to give their updates. It's 2 hours, so we'll start at 10 on the 15th. We have scheduled our public input meetings. Those are scheduled for Thursday, February 19th. They will be here in this room. We're doing 2, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Just scheduled that with Kim just before Christmas, just before Thanksgiving. We're not to Christmas yet, thank goodness. But just scheduled that, so you'll hear a little bit more about that in the coming months. We are very initial planning stages for that event, but I did want to put it on your radar that will be the 3rd week of February. Do you have any questions for me about the general opioid settlement funds, the funding, Live Well Avery, our Dogwood grant, which we did get an extension on? I'm very excited as well about that. So if you would like me to continue working with you in the county, we did get a 3-year extension. The Avery County did get a 3-year extension on that grant. So congratulations on that part too.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys this evening then.
Possession of deadly weapons on certain county property. Michelle, I'm going to let you handle that.
Okay, this is a proposal for the board to consider, and this would address regulating deadly weapons in the Department of Social Services building only. That's all it addresses. And it addresses 2 different things. It prohibits the open carry of various weapons, which would include guns, rifles, pistols, dynamite, bombs, long list under the statute. And then it also prohibits the concealed carry of a handgun on the Department of Social Services property. So It is set up to where it is a misdemeanor violation. Somebody violates the ordinance, and it would have a fine of up to $500 with a floor of 50.
So up until now, it was legal to have a concealed weapon in the social services.
It wasn't prohibited.
Ground law. Yeah, but not illegal technically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this ordinance, if the board wanted to adopt this ordinance and vote on it tonight, it does require a vote at 2 different meetings, so it has to be voted on again in January regardless of whether or not it's unanimous vote.
What was June's question?
He said, was it illegal to start, I mean, was it legal before we made the ordinance? But it
It was
wasn't.
just curiosity.
There was nothing, there was no ordinance on it at that time.
In 2014, in November, Michelle remembers, Cindy remembers, Phil was tax assessor, I'm sure he remembers, he was there. As county manager, I tried to do something much less restrictive than this for all county buildings. And it was supposed to sign that said no unlawful weapons. And if you all will remember, a certain member of the community got a hold of it, blew it all out of proportion, and absolutely wild and lied, and everything on earth. And the citizens, because of that, filled the room full. Remember? And it was much less restrictive than this. But this is very much needed at DSS. DSS and the health departments was the reason that I tried to do what I did as county manager. To
My
protect.
question was simply just, was it not always legal that you couldn't have a weapon on county property?
No.
It should be. I mean, we'll let it do it.
And if the board wanted to look later at adding additional county properties or the recreational properties, that's something the board could look at down the road by amending this ordinance to add other properties.
Okay, I've got one question, and I've read the state statute, and it's very confusing. Like most of them are. Will this also make it illegal for someone with a concealed carry permit to carry on that property?
That is the intent of it, yes, because it prohibits all concealed carry.
Okay. That's what I thought it was.
And I agree that statute's very confusing.
It's very confusing. I read it several times.
Any other questions? Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And we will vote again next meeting, January, on this. Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. We'll move to 3.3G, which is architectural service proposed Avery County domestic violence home. But there's some work needs to be done on that a little bit more, so we need a motion to table that until next meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
3.4A, county manager report, county manager updates. Mr. Barry.
Good evening, Board. Since it's Thanksgiving time, I just want to once again tell our citizens of Avery County how thankful we are for the continued work of recovery from Hurricane Helene. The churches, the nonprofits, the fire departments, every single county department has worked tirelessly on this, and every county employee. So I just want to say thank you. We've not forgotten. On the senior center, we do have our request for services for an architect. We've had 3 visits. Those are due on December 10th. So hopefully we're going to get 3 or more. submittals for those services for the senior center. This month, board, I will remind everyone we should hear from the grant that the High Country Council of Governments helped us put together with the CDBG. In your informational items, you want to make sure everyone saw that all the fire departments have passed with the Office of State Fire Marshal their last updates. Want to brag on the Department of Transportation on the update of the Pinola Bridge. It went ahead of schedule, which is unheard of, but it happened. And also in your informational items, there's a progress report on the GREAT grant. So I'm proud to say that the design is at 100% complete and the construction is almost right at 75% complete. Want to remind everyone that the Trees for Troops, if you'd like to help with that loading event, will happen here this Thursday at 9 a.m. So come out for that. And I want to thank the Cartners Tree Farm for the beautiful Christmas tree that they donated for the community center. So, and with that, that is my update.
Did they not have a big one?
They didn't have a big one, so we had to get that. We'll work on trying to get a big one next time.
We'll move on to 3.4B, finance report, and our finance officer is out of town, and but he looks for nothing is to be presented on there anyway, so we'll move to 3.4C, the county attorney report. You have anything?
I do not have anything.
Okay. I move to 3.5, staff reports and requests. Nothing there. 3.6, closed session.
I do not have anything.
Move to 3.7, approval of minutes for September 17, 2025 special meeting, September 22nd, 2025 special meeting, October 29th, 2025 special meeting, November 3rd, 2025 regular meeting, and November the 7th, 2025 special meeting. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have nothing on the agenda consent items, so we skip that. Phil's went over the information items, and so we'll move to 3.10, upcoming meetings. Now, the